them, the Packers. I personally thought the turnover battle was going to play a much bigger deal this whole season. I mean, this whole week. But Kaepernick, they threw one pick. They didn't force any turnovers yet. They still won the game. One of the biggest parts of that, 4 sacks coming back. Biggest Alden Smith with a sack and a half. And then you've also got to talk about Ahmad Brooks getting a pair of sacks. They kept getting pressure onto Rodgers, making it hard for him to throw, forcing him to make decisions that may not have been the best. Also, holding all the receivers. Jordy Nelson had the most receiving yards, 62 yards, and that was on 7 receptions. Nobody got more than that yards. They also held Eddie Lacy to only 81 yards, a 3.9-yard average. In the end, this Niners defense shut down an offense that, while not elite, is pretty good, and just really 281 yards. That's all they allowed, under 300. And I believe, as we've gone through all these games, one of the biggest things I've seen is teams that have under 300 yards cannot win football games. You need to be able to move the football. And that's the fact. The Packers could not move the football, and the Niners could. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. So now it's kind of time to talk about where the Packers are headed. And they will be picking now, and it is known for a fact, they'll be picking 21st because they had the worst record in the regular season out of all of the teams in the wild card round that lost. And there are some needs that really jump out at you. Their secondary definitely could use some help. Defensive lineman, with Pickett being a free agent, as well as B.J. Raji. It's a big deal on the defensive line. Tight end. Jermichael Finley, a lot of injuries to him. There is a great class of tight ends coming in. So, Jake, when you look at this, where do you see the Packers doing? Where do you think they're going to pick? Where do you think they're going to go?
Where do I think they're going to go? First of all, I think if either Clinton Dix or Rashid Hageman is left on the board, you can't pass over them. If both of those two are taken, you have to go with either Jason Morrow or Eric Ebron. You have to bulk up on the offensive line. Also, it's time to make some moves in the free agent market. Listen, we have 16 or 17 players entering free agency now. Among them, John Kuhn, B.J. Raji, Jermichael Finley. So this team might not be very similar next year. But you've got to look at Buffalo Bills safety, Jairus Byrd, entering free agency as well. Look for him to possibly be a big pickup for the Packers. I think that, again, as long as Ted Thompson is the general manager of this team, Green Bay will see success. He has continued to make good decisions. He has continued to make successful drafts. And watch out for second round, because the second round is where the Packers need to do all their magic. That includes Jordy Nelson. That includes Eddie Lacy. If you just look at the second round picks for the Packers, it's been something else. And there's still absolutely hope for this team.
Carl, what do you think the Packers have to do? Where do you see them going?
Well, as Jake talked about, he talked about first two of the better players on the board that could still be available in a safety in Clinton Dix and a defensive tackle in Hageman. But the biggest need I see for them is a tight end. Their offense runs through the tight end position, and right now they're going to be in the need of one. That is the most important thing. A tight end who can make plays with the ball. I look at Ebron out of North Carolina as the best option for that, and I hope he's still on the board for them because he'd be a great fit into this Packers offense.
Yeah, look, Ted Thompson obviously has been phenomenal, and since 2005 really relied mostly on drafting. But I will agree with you that we do have to do something in the free agent market, because though drafting is very effective, when you have so many people leaving, eventually you have to say, look, we don't normally like to dip into free agents, but it's time that we do a big splash. And you're right, Jairus Byrd would be a great pickup for us, really be filling a big need. And then on the draft, you're right, Hadrian would be a great pickup, especially if we end up losing Pickett or Raji. Really improve that defensive line. Clinton Dix it would be a great pickup as well, especially, you saw it. We contained the run in the first quarter well. And much of the game, actually, besides the couple of big runs that Kaepernick was able to pull off until the fourth quarter, basically. And we got torched in the secondary from much of the game up until we started to clamp down in the third quarter. Third quarter, we did great on both, really. So secondary help would be really helpful. And I agree, Eric Ebron can be a big difference maker. I will give Corliss a lot of respect. He came in and did a great job, made some big catches today. I'm impressed by him. I'm proud of him for the effort that he put in and how he stepped in Finley's shoes. But Ebron is so talented. And though I think Jay Samaro has the higher ceiling, I think Ebron is ready to come in, be a better pass-catching tight end. And look at the teams that have great tight ends. Jimmy Graham for the Saints. You have Vernon Davis for the Niners. Obviously, Tony Gonzalez gone, but these guys are massive targets, and they really change teams. The Falcons with Gonzalez and Gonzalez when he was on the Chiefs as well, you can go to them on third down. They are some of your most reliable players. And obviously for the Saints, Jimmy Graham as the number one target. So before we end it, we are going to look at the Niners. And Carl, what are your thoughts on the Niners?
The Niners, moving on, I believe, are maybe the most dangerous team. It's hard to say. Maybe the most dangerous team besides Carolina. Next week, going to be an amazing matchup as they head into Seattle. This is a team they've split with in the regular season, but did lose to in Seattle. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup as Colin Kaepernick has had issues breaking through against the Seattle secondary. They're playing. Did I mess up that match? No. Yes,
They're playing Carolina.
I did mess up that matchup. I am sorry. I'm actually more excited for that than I would have been for the other matchup. Pardon me for not remembering the matchups. These are my two teams out of the NFC, so I'm kind of worried. I'm not sure who to pick in this matchup. But in the end, the Niners are a dangerous team. They have playoff experience. They've got a quarterback who's proven he has the ability to win playoff games, and that's going to be a very good matchup moving on. This Niners team should be taken very seriously as a Super Bowl contender.
And Jake, what are your thoughts on this Niners football team?
This Niners football team is a very hot team. They're a very good team. They are a streaky team, and right now that's good news. But all streaks come to an end at some point. This game between the Panthers and the Niners, it's too close for me to call right now on Sunday night. It's a toss-up for me. I think that's going to be a fantastic matchup. I'm excited for that game, but it's way too close to call right now. And what a great coaching battle, by the way, between Riverboat Ron Rivera and the angrier Harbaugh, as I like to call him.
Yeah. Look, the Niners are going to have a difficult game against Carolina. Carolina beat them once. You're going to be sure that they have revenge on their minds. I think they have a phenomenal job of playing. Coaching wise, they execute well, and against Carolina, if they can, execute when it matters most, like they did in this game, I think they can win. A good team, even when they don't execute all the time, they execute when they have to, and that's what the Niners have done these past couple of years. So it's going to be tough, but they do have the potential to go to the Super Bowl. So, with that, we are done. And so, Carl, thank you so much for being on the show. Jake, thank you so much for being on the show. Anything you guys want to say before you go? Carl?
Really quickly, go follow me on Twitter at Carl_PM, and go check out College Football on Air and all the shows at National Sports. We got a bunch of great guys talking all sorts of sports here, so keep checking back to the National Sports page.
And Jake, anything you want to say?
Anything I'd like to say, be here next Sunday night. Rookies Roundup will be back with our 23rd episode. Follow me on Twitter at Jake Liker. Like Rookies Roundup on Facebook. Great season for the Packers. And now that it's time to shift perhaps into March Madness year, don't forget to look out for those Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah. thank you guys so much for being on the show. And, of course, follow me on Twitter. I am slowly going up in followers. You can follow at Blake and Noah. That is at capital BLAKE _and capital NOAH. Or follow me at Tibbs Taborda. That's at capital TIBS _Taborda, capital TABORDA. So, for the people, this is basically Who's on Rookies Roundup, but also it's basically a crossover show again. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will be on here probably later on in the week for the divisional round previews. Thank you guys so much for the support. See you guys later.
I'm away down. I'm away down. You're the one that was trying to keep me way down. And like the sun, no, you know I found my way back round.
They tell me I should fix my grill cause I got money now. I ain't gonna sit around in front like I ain't thought about it. A perfect smile is more appealing, but it's funny how this crooked, look at how far